This is the story of 17-year-old Junko Furuta. The story takes place in Japan 1988. Junko was known to be a really beautiful student. She was said to be really hardworking and she got great grades. And she didn't really have much interest in party no boys. Hello everyone, welcome to Deadly Clues YouTube channel where we talk about true crimes. Let's get into this case. A boy called Hiroshi went to the same school as her and he actually asked her out. But she wasn't interested, so she rejected him kindly. He wasn't good with the rejection. He took it very personally. In November 1988, Junko was on her way home from school and riding her bike. This is when a man suddenly kicked her off her bike. Understandably, she was terrified in this moment until she saw Hiroshi approaching. She thought thank God, someone I know is here to save me. As he approached her, the man who kicked her off bike ran away and he offered her a ride home. This was the last time she was seen alive. The man who had kicked her off the bike was one of Hiroshi's friends and it was all planned to kidnap her. She then drove her to warehouse and threatened her to send his gang after her family. Because of it, she compiled with everything she wanted to do. On 27 November, her parents were quite concerned. This is when they suddenly get a phone call from her. In this phone call, she explained to her parents that she had run away and called off any police searches. Even though this was completely out of her character, it was their daughter on the phone, so they compiled and called off searches. But little did she know she was forced to make this phone call by the men. The boys then moved her to a home where one of them lived, and the parents of the boy who lived there would come by to visit and see what they were doing to her. And because the four boys were so intimidating, sadistic and just pure evil, they just couldn't say anything. The four boys would invite up to 15 men a day to do what they want to with Junko. The things that they did to her can't describe. It was like she living in a hell. They would force her to eat live bugs, inhale lighter fluid and smoke loads of cigarettes. Men even stopped coming around because she was unrecognizable. Junko didn't even look like the young girl she once was. She had cuts, bruises, burn everywhere. But she did not stop fighting. She was determined to live. On the day 20, she got the opportunity to escape and she took it. All the men in the building were passed out after drinking and she was able to get out of her restraints. This is when she found a phone and attempted to call the police. But unfortunately, one of those disgusting men woke up. He realized that she was trying to call the police and immediately stopped her. They then all proceed to punish her for hours. One of the punishment was pouring a fluid on her and setting her light. After this brutal beating, she was no longer able to walk or really move. At this point, her condition was so bad that she was no longer able to eat without severely vomiting afterward. Not long after this, the men actually challenged her to come off solitary, and despite her truly awful condition, she won. But the men were obviously didn't happy about this, so they beat her for the final time. Junko lost her life on the 4th of January to these awful boys. When the fourth of them realized that she had stopped moving and she was dead, they freaked out. The boys then decided to put her body into a drum of oil and fill it with concrete. It wasn't long before forensics found data on her body and in drum of oil. They were shocked at the state of her body. And it wasn't long before not only Japan but the world heard about this horrific case. People were infuriated about this case. Due to the DNA and past crimes that all the boys had committed, it wasn't hard to track it down to them. So Hiroshi got 17 years because he was minor. Boy whose house it was where they kept her only got 5 to 9 years, and the parents who knew about it got nothing, and the two other boys involved only got 8 years. So Junko wasn't get the justice that she deserved. This is the end of the story of Junko, who was faced most brutal and disgusting things because she rejected one boy. This is the end of this story. So if you like to know about more cases like this, please subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.